I'd clap too if I was staring at me. It's Friday, so you know what that means. Let's welcome tonight's guest. His idea of binge drinking is two yoo-hoos. Fox News contributor Tom Shalhoub. This well-tanned author once played a saddle in True Grit. Novelist and literary critic Walter Kern. He has hair like Beavis, and he'd never deceive us. Co-host of Fox and Friends Weekend, Charlie Hertz. And she went from MTV to our MVP, host of the Kennedy Saves the World podcast, Kennedy. That is a panel. Yeah, Brett, your all-star panel ain't. Okay, before we get to some news stories, let's do this.
Greg's Leftovers.
It's Leftovers, where I read the jokes we didn't use this week, and as always, it's my first time reading them. So if they suck, we'll put Joe Mackey in a blue dress and send him to Bill Clinton's house. All right. So Sunday is Mother's Day. Yeah. All right. Or as Elon Musk calls it, Sunday. It's the day Elon spends asking dozens of mothers, how did you get this phone number? The Bidens are reportedly considering a $30 million tell-all book deal. $30 million. Man, that's like $1 million a day for the rest of Joe's life. The book will include details from Jill's diary. I think we might have a page from it. So why do the Bidens need all this money? Well, according to an inside source, Joe Biden is going broke. And things are looking so rough, Joe's now sleeping in his car. So, did you hear that the new pope is not only American, but he's from Chicago? Which means, out of habit, he's already installed the club in his pope-mobile. Try doing a drive-by on that. New York State's budget includes new laws that make it easier to involuntarily commit someone. Which makes you wonder, between these two, who's going to pick up the phone first? They're both crazy. This week we learned that Bernie Sanders' excuse for using private jets is that he doesn't like waiting in line. Well, I guess he's never going to bang Bonnie Blue. You know, I knew that was in bad taste, but it's such a good joke. A new study found that 28 major U.S. cities are sinking, and experts have traced the cause back to one man's recent road trip. According to a new survey, the toughest job in America is fighting fires. The easiest job? You guessed it, answering Kilmeade's fan mail. I like how they put his name on the bag. That was cute. Should give him that. California Democrats are proposing a mandatory retirement age for public officials. One lawmaker breathed a sign of relief when she found out the age was 540. On Thursday, President Trump complimented Pete Buttigieg for lovingly riding to work on his bicycle. What's more impressive is the bikes don't have seats. I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get it. What's so funny? Meghan Markle revealed that she and Prince Harry affectionately call each other M and H to keep their relationship a secret, and not because it's short for moron and hoe. California Democrats stopped a law that made paying for sex with a 16-year-old a felony. I wish I was alive to see this, said one man. Oh my God, a lot of MJ fans here. A woman in China claims she got herpes at a karaoke bar by holding the microphone too close to her mouth. Wow, that's a better excuse than the one I use. I usually tell people I got herpes from Carrot Top. I'm joking. It's just a cold sore. Burger King is facing a lawsuit from customers alleging their Whoppers are way smaller than advertised. Meanwhile,
Me too.
it's not going that way. Meanwhile, cannibals are suing Wendy's because the burgers aren't made out of redheaded girls. Yeah, so you thought it was going to be a dick joke. I made it about eating young redheaded girls. And finally, on Thursday, President Trump detailed the framework of a landmark trade deal with the UK. He announced we're opening up the UK to American goods, especially products like beef. And first to go will be these 5 cows. All right, so we're roughly 4 months into Trump's second term, which means it's about time for a hit piece on the First Lady. And there you have it, the New York Times taking the new First Lady to task for not being involved enough in the White House duties. After all, Jill Biden ran the country, and Michelle Obama ran the weight room. Of course, if Doug Emhoff were the First Lady right now, the Times would be writing puff pieces about how he goes out of his way to pay for the staff's abortions. The Times bashes Melania for only spending 14 days in the White House. But can you blame her for not wanting to fully move in until they fumigate Hunter's quarters? Here's one of their complaints. Quote, Mr. Trump has taken to performing some duties that typically would fall to a First Lady. She's not the one carefully selecting light fixtures, redesigning the Rose Garden, greeting tour groups, or hosting receptions. He is. So that's an interesting take from a bunch of lefties. The First Lady isn't tending to ladylike duties, but the man is. You know, it says something about Trump when you got the Times defending traditional gender roles. They say gender is a spectrum and then turn right around and say a man shouldn't do interior decorating. That'll be news to the homosexuals I hired to redo my basement. I'm adding a pommel horse to the bondage room. I think Kudlow's gonna like it. But what they're really saying is, it's hard for us to trash Melania when she offers us so little to trash. They're so addicted to being mean girls, now they're getting meaner because she's not giving them a chance to be mean. Because for sure, if Melania was redoing the Rose Garden, they'd give her hell for including thorns. So absent any real dirt, the Times wants to paint Melania as an anomaly, when in fact, she's as First Lady as you can get in style, sophistication, behavior, and role. This after 4 years of the most unorthodox First Lady in history. Jill ran the White House while orchestrating a cover-up for her half-dead husband. She meddled in foreign policy and cabinet meetings. Hell, she even demanded that the world believe she was a real doctor. She let her confused husband off stage, dictated when and where he could go, and controlled media access. Did the media ever probe into that? No. When the media would turn their biased eye to Jill, it was only to fawn. It didn't bother them that Jill was effectively the president, despite nobody voting for her. And while they coddled her, they mocked Melania, and then complain when she leaves them high and dry. Maybe she thinks, hey, I didn't sign up for this, you know, like when I was on Outnumbered.
I remember that.
Consider that during her husband's first term, she wore a raincoat with a slogan the press didn't like, and it became an entire news cycle. A raincoat. And unlike Joe, she was able to put it on all by herself. Meanwhile, Dr. Jill wore stuff like this. Seriously, who is her stylist? The Riddler? The contrast is stark. Jill got all the accolades and no scrutiny. Melania, no accolades, all scrutiny. If I had an entire industry devoted to nitpicking every single thing I do and say just because I married somebody they despise, I might need some private time as well. That's why I dumped Taylor Swift. The Dems love to say they're the party of women, unless it's a woman who thinks for herself and quite literally does her own thing. In fact, Melania is the polar opposite of what the Dems want in a woman. See, women should think the same, scream about the same causes, and vote the same way. It's why so many Democrat women look like this and not this. So what if Melania would rather be seen and not heard? The Dems just want you to be one of the herd. Well, we've only got one lady on the panel, so Tom. I kid. Kennedy, I have to go to you first.
Okay.
Because I find it interesting that there's nothing they can pin on her, so that becomes the flaw. They're like, I don't know, we have nothing to say about Melania. Well, maybe that's a problem too. She's not doing anything.
Well, yeah, and thank God she's okay. It's not like Kate Middleton, because if you remember in the UK, when she was missing, people drummed up all of these conspiracy theories and really bullied her. And it never occurred to them that, maybe she has cancer, and she did. And the same kind of bullying, they were like, you're just making that up. And she's like, no, I actually have cancer, and it really sucks, and just leave me alone. And eventually they had to eat crow and go away. She telegraphed that that's what she was going to do. Mm-hmm. It's like, if you're being bullied, and why would you sit there in the same context and just take it for the sake of taking it? So she told people, I'm going to live in Florida. I'm going to be in New York with my son when he needs me while he's in school. And when I'm needed in Washington, I'll go there. Guess what? They have not been on the public teat for 60 years.
Yes.
They actually have their own money, and she can afford to fly wherever she wants, when she wants to. I'm sorry, I thought that was feminism.
Yes, and Tom, they can't believe that she wouldn't want to spend her time in D.C., which is the nation's capital and armpit.
That's true, and I'm a noted feminist, Greg.
Yes.
I think, it's amazing that the New York Times, the only way they can get anybody to look at their articles is if Trump, trumpets them, and he calls them the fake New York Times. And I think they were goading him. This was trolling Trump with the idea that he was doing women's work.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
And so they think they're going to get him, and he's going to call him the fake New York Times. They think Trump is so shallow that if they say that he's redecorating the White House, he's going to get mad. But we all know that Trump loves to redecorate, and we know he does the decorating because have you seen Trump Tower?
Yeah.
He definitely decorated that apartment. That's not Melania. That's totally Trump.
Yeah. He loves to put gold everywhere. Yeah. So, speaking of gold, you're looking mighty tan, Walter. Yeah. So, I don't know where to go with that.
I know. It's stunning, and
it is.
A lot of
overwhelming. Can you compare and contrast our two first ladies in the past 8 years? We had Dr. Jill. Melania, Dr. Jill, Melania. It was like a Melania sandwich.
Okay, I have a lot to say on this. I'll say it quickly, cut me off when I get too much. First of all, usually when you're the president's wife, the White House isn't your fourth worst house, okay?
Yeah.
Number two, if I had the ability to have my wife be away, but know through bodyguards at every second exactly where she was and what she was doing, I would tell her to go have fun too.
Yeah.
So secondly, yeah, exactly. He's not wondering what she's doing. I mean, he's probably got a little camera in a vest of a guy watching every moment. Hey, Melania, you picked a good time to go to the bathroom. This is Donald. But anyway, the other thing is, did you see her at the inauguration? She had that hat that covered her eyes. She had this, she looked like a cross between a supermodel and an assassin.
Yeah. She was Lee Van Cleef.
She's off on missions, baby.
Yeah.
Like, if you have a wife like this who's able to penetrate foreign governments and embassies and the highest reaches of, closed societies, you put her on missions. Jill wasn't capable of missions. Nobody wanted her there. And when a first lady is around the house a lot, that usually means there's something wrong with the president.
Yes.
And this is his best argument for I'm capable. I don't need even my wife around. She would be doting there if she thought he was going to say something wrong or drool, or whatever.
It's a good point. It's like, Charlie, Melania is a first lady. Dr. Jill was a visiting angel.
Totally. Yeah, and I think that gangster hat that she wore at the inauguration was kind of the message to everybody that she had had enough of this and she wasn't going to play their games again.
Billy Jack.
Yes. Yeah.
It's either Lee Van Cleef or Billy Jack. Billy Jack.
And so, most of the people that go into the White House, this is the pinnacle of a lifetime spent in politics. And for these people, for the Trumps, this is a diversion from an incredibly accomplished life that they had led before this. And this is completely different. They're bigger than this spot right now. And I love that all of Melania's detractors speak 4 languages less than she does.
Yes.
And they have no accomplishments in, say, the fashion world that she has. And I think that I think they're threatened by it. They don't know how to wrap their brain around it, because the idea that anybody would be in that position who doesn't worship at the altar of politics is somebody that they can't control. And that's what, of course, we all love about both of the Trumps.
Yeah, and also, they always say D.C. is Hollywood for ugly people.
Right.
And why would Melania hang around them? Melania posed nude. I would never want to see any of her detractors naked.
It's Hollywood for ugly people, but also losers who have never actually accomplished something in the real world.
Right.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.